programming now. The method and way that I'm going to do it is probably going to introduce a lot more errors. It's not going to be as smooth, if ever it was smooth, as before, because I'm just going to do it on the fly, so to speak. So what we really need to do now is, because we've moved on and we're looking at a different version, we really need to start in anagram 3. So if I do file, new file, and well, actually, yeah, let me keep the new file open. I can just save this as anagram 3 file, save as anagram 3, so that I'm not disturbing that anagram 2 program, and you can view it and have that code, but I'll be building on this. But before I do that, I'm actually going to do it in a new file, and normally I call these test files. So if I save that, what I'm going to call this one is test menu.py. So I'm going to write and I'm going to test my menu before I transfer it into my anagram file. So really what we're doing now is this menu system, and we're also looking at functions versus procedures. Now the menu is going to be a procedure. However, reading the menu or taking what you select is going to be a function. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's start off with a menu. I'm going to define a menu. So it looks like a function because we've got def for define function. However, we're not going to return a value. So there'll be no return statement. So there'll be none of that. And that's really the difference between a function and a procedure. A function returns something, so it does a job and then returns the value that it's done. However, a procedure just does a job. And so our menu, the only thing I want it to do is display a message on the screen. So it's just a load of print statements. So maybe I'm going to start off with print and the name of the program or the game that we're playing. So what is it? It's Word Scrambler. Let's just call it that. We can come back and change it later. Print Word Scrambler. Then I want a blank line, so print with nothing after it. And then I want my options. Now, what are the options in the program? What do I want to do? Well, if the user presses 1, I want them to be able to play the game. So that's the top one. But that's not the only thing I wanted them to do. I wanted them to be able to add words to the Word file. So they could choose that. So add words to file. And actually, if we just capitalise that, it'll look a little neater. Add words to file. So they've got a whole part of the program which just asks them what a word is and then adds it to the file. So we can make bigger files. And let's have another option. And this one is show high scores. And we're yet to develop any of this or do any of this. This is just what I want my game to do. And finally, we can have 4 being quit. Now, sometimes you might want instructions. So you can have a menu option for instructions. You could have loads of different things within the game. So maybe you'd want to have different Word files. So maybe you want to be able to specify which file to use. They're menu options. However, that's it. I'm not going to bother keep adding things. I can do that later. This is good enough at the moment for my menu. The last thing I might want to do is type print And I'm going to start it off with a new line, so there's a gap between quit and this. And please enter a selection, and maybe give them the values 1 to 4, then press enter. So giving them instructions on what they need to do. That's it. That's my menu. However, it's a procedure because there is no return value. It just does this job and that's all it does, and there is no return value. And the main program for this is just menu. So this is the main program. This is where it all starts, all kicks off. Main program. And its menu. In fact, a lot of the times I describe it as it should be. So this really is show menu. Okay, so if I now save that, I can run it and see if it does the trick that I want. And there you go. There's my title, there's my menu, and I've got a small problem there. It didn't give me a new line before. Oh, it did, but it put a space in between please. Just a little tidy up. So let's try running that again. And there you go. Let's tidy that up. Please enter a selection. I'm not very good at spelling. Whoops. There's the file. Must be behind here. There it is. Please enter a selection, then press enter. So the user is going to type 1, 2, 3 or 4, and we're going to pick up that value from what they type. We're also going to check that they haven't typed 0 or a letter or 5 or so on, so that they can only type in 1, 2, 3 or 4. But that would be done as a function. So let me just outline it here. I would have a function get selection and return the user's choice. So here we have a procedure, and we know it's a procedure because it doesn't have a return value. Here we have a function because whatever we do gives it a return value. Now, if I could call this from my program, I could say get selection, so that's what I want to do, show them the menu and get the selection, but because it is a function, I need to catch what it sends me back. So it's returning choice and I'm capturing choice here. So choice equals get selection. However, if I run this, it's not going to be very happy because choice hasn't been set to anything when it's returned. So I need one more line of code at the moment just to make it run, and that's it. So let me just show you the error first. So if I run it and save, there you go. It says choice is not defined. It doesn't know what choice is at this point. So all I need to do is say that choice is the empty string. And now when I run my program, it will display the menu, and that'll be it. Please enter a selection 1 to 4. Now it's waiting. So in the next video, I'm going to start coding up this get selection function. This is a procedure. This is a function. So this is calling a procedure. There is no equal sign in there. This is calling a function. There is an equal sign and a variable to catch the choice. So in other words, we have looked at the differences here between functions and procedures. In the next set of videos where the user puts in their choice, we're going to look at validation techniques.